Namaste and welcome to a presentation on leverage analysis. Leverage borrows a terminology from physics and applies to business operations and financial management. In its simple form, leverage means doing more with less effort. It is replacing hard work with working smarter, delivering more value. It is like a lever. You used a lever for getting more work with less physical force. In the process of leverage, what is that we are achieving is we are improving the productivity of resources which are having a fixed remuneration. Fixed remuneration resources are made to work harder with smart work plans, and in the process, whatever a fixed remuneration bearing asset works, after paying off the fixed remuneration, balance productivity belongs to the owners of the company who are nothing but equity shareholders. And leverage is an effort to magnify the revenue of the firm. When the revenue of a firm is amplified or magnified, the wealth of shareholders goes up. Leverage analysis gets importance because it renders the wealth of shareholders move upwards with a bit of smart planning in improving productivity and efficiency. To look at it pictorially, this is the hard work. It gets success. Hard work is rewarded with success, but it has got a limited scope for quantum of success. If you use a lever and use the leverage, you can achieve more success. When we apply this concept in the course of business as leverage, it means we are working smartly with the debt which carries fixed interest, and we are working with fixed costs which are getting a frozen remuneration and make their productivity go up, and that will help us in having bigger operations. Here the debt and fixed cost and their quantum being increased is the leverage. Leverage is making use of the resources of debt which are remunerated with the fixed interest and fixed costs in a business environment which is made to work harder and smarter. And this accompanied by size of operations which acts as a fulcrum. Leverage with fulcrum results in amplified revenue. The revenue goes up, profit goes up. All incremental profits which are amplified belong to equity shareholders, and that is a huge success. This is where leverage gets its importance. Here we saw two concepts, debt and fixed cost. One pertains to cost composition, second pertains to finance composition. Let us take the cost composition first. It gives rise to one type of leverage, and that leverage is called operating leverage. It refers to cost structure of the company. For example, rent which we pay fixed in a month, power bill, mostly it is fixed in the normal course. MD's remuneration, fixed component part of it. Vehicle depreciation, lease rentals, premises rentals, these are all fixed costs. Now, What we need to do is we need to take out fixed expenses and find out ways to generate better returns from them. And if a company is having expenses of 100, we need to find out what is the maximum percentage of it which could be fixed, because it is the fixed expenses which help you improve productivity and get it for the shareholders. What operating leverage suggests is substitute variable expenses by fixed expenses, and that way you make use of the cost volume profit relationship of break-even analysis. And it says higher the operating leverage means higher the fixed component, higher the profit. Lower the fixed component, just like in retailers and restaurants where variable expenses are more, leverage is very poorly managed. But there is a risk here now. Higher the operating leverage, we are talking of airlines. Take airlines. They take on dry lease or wet lease rentals to be paid to the owners of the aircraft are fixed. Only the fuel is variable. Pilots, most of their salary is fixed. All maintenance expenses are fixed. Ground facilities are fixed. Higher fixed charges. If the occupancy rate or load factor of an airline goes up, it can benefit by having high operating leverage. But if it doesn't work, we have to understand the logic. High profit, high risk. High operating leverage, high risk, high profit, and higher risk always is a double-edged knife. It can cut either way. That is where, because of very high operating leverage, airlines are prone to disasters in terms of operations and management. Same thing applies to technology companies which have got fat salaried people who have got fixed remuneration, but we can make use of them for bigger projects and bigger returns with least variability in their pay. That is good for improving the earnings of the company. How is it calculated? Operating leverage, which is called DOL, degree of operating leverage, is a simple ratio. Contribution. Contribution means sales minus variable cost is contribution. Contribution divided by earning before interest and tax. That leads us to degree of operating leverage. And sometimes while referring to contribution, we also refer to sales because percentage growth in sales is always equal to percentage growth in contribution. Therefore, wherever there is a reference to sales, we can take it as also a reference to contribution when the growth is indicated in terms of percentages. Degree of operating leverages is high where contribution is high. Contribution is high when variable cost is low. When variable cost is low, it means fixed cost is high. It is suggesting a company should have a sizable portion of fixed expenses to generate a comfortable degree of operating leverage to benefit from leveraging of cost structure, and the ratio is contribution divided by earning before interest and tax. Another set of leverages is financial leverages. We are talking of fixed cost and debt. In respect of debt, it is referring to using borrowed money as compared to equity. Because when you use borrowed money, remuneration on borrowed money is fixed. And anything that debt earns more than its interest, it is the prosperity for the equity shareholders. That is where financial leverage is more sought after to increase return on shareholder investment. But a company should have an appropriate debt equity mix. Just because debt is beneficial, you can't go for heavy amount of debt because that will affect the cost of capital. More debt will be available at more cost only because it exposes the company to a business risk, as we saw in the capital structure theory. And what is required in financial leverage is whatever the debenture or fixed deposit or long-term loan earns, the return has to be above the interest. If its generation is less than the interest we pay, then it is not worth it. It is a negative leverage and we should not borrow that money. We should borrow a money which is capable of earning more than the interest. When it earns more than the interest, that is leveraging. When it is earning less than the interest, that is negative leveraging, which will lead to disastrous consequences for the equity shareholders. And as we saw, debt has to be at the reasonable levels where it gives us reasonable cost of capital. But if it is too high, then it maximizes the risk component and magnifies exposure to risk and closure of company. How is it calculated? Degree of financial leverage, or DFL, is earning before interest and tax divided by profit before tax. Profit before tax is also referred to as earning per share when it comes to percentage growth. Higher the degree of financial leverage, higher changes in EPS. Higher changes in EPS means higher profit before tax, and that is higher returns to the equity holders. Therefore, we are looking for higher operating leverage. We are looking for higher financial leverage, but both leverages have to be within acceptable levels of business risk. Now there is one third one called degree of combined leverage. What is degree of combined leverage? Degree of combined leverage takes care of both operating leverage and financial leverage. That is contribution divided by profit before tax. Contribution is also related to sales. Profit before tax is related to EPS. It is the overall leverage of the company. But you need to understand that these three leverages are interrelated. How is it? Combined leverage is the product of operating leverage into financial leverage. What happens when you multiply these two? When you multiply these two, EBIT is the common factor in one numerator and the other denominator. When you multiply, you strike it off. And once you multiply, what remains is contribution by PBT. That is what you are getting here. Therefore, using this relationship, we should be able to derive one of these when two are given. Operating leverage into financial leverage equals combined or composite leverage. And the process that happens is it cancels out when we multiply, and what remains is contribution on the numerator and PBT on the denominator. This is regarding the relationship between the three leverages. If we take an example, the composite combined leverage focus on the entire company, whereas this focuses on operating leverage and this focuses on the debt component part of it. If you look into illustration 49 on page 451, you will find that operating leverage is derived by contribution by EBIT. Let us suppose our contribution is 14,000. EBIT is 4,000. It gives an integer of 3.5. What does this 3.5 means? You have to read it very clearly. 1% change in contribution is the numerator. 1% change in contribution leads to 3.5 times higher change in the EBIT. we have to read like this. If contribution goes up by 1%, EBIT goes up by 3.5%. Similarly, if sales is increased by 10%, we have said contribution percentage and sales percentage are the same. If sales percentage goes up by 10%, then as we have understood, EBIT has to go up by 10% into 3.5. This is what it says. That is the sensibility. Sensitivity analysis says contribution, if it goes up, EBIT goes up more than proportionate. If you go up here by 10%, this goes up 3.5 times more than that, means this goes up by 35%. Same logic of sensitivity analysis applies here also. If EBIT divided by PBT, if we take as 4,000 by 3,500 is equal to 1.15, if EBIT goes up by 1%, the PBT will go up by 1.15% because that is equal to 1 into 1.15. As given in that example, if EBIT goes by 6%, the PBT, which is nothing but profit before tax or taxable income, will go up by 6% into 1.15 times, which is 6.9%. Taking the same logic, degree of combined leverage. If sales increases, contribution and sales increase the same way. If sales increases by 6% and if your DCL is equal to 14,000 divided by 3,504, if it is 6, PBT will go up more than proportionate. 6 into 4, it will go up by 24%. This relationship has to be understood between the three. Let us take up illustration number 43, wherein we are supposed to calculate degree of operating leverage DOL, degree of financial leverage DFL, and degree of combined leverage DCL. We also know DOL into DFL is equal to DCL. Now for the calculation of this we have to use the formula, and also what is required is what is fixed and what is variable cost. This is for the sake of operating leverage, and what is interest on borrowed funds, that is for the sake of financial leverage. We have both, and then multiply the product of the two is nothing but combined leverage. Let us get into the problem. We have to follow a strict template and follow it throughout, and it is very easy and simple. Let us get going. The template will be showing off what is the number of units produced, sales, variable cost, contribution. Out of contribution, you remove fixed cost, you get EBIT. Out of EBIT, you remove interest, you get profit before tax. Once you get these three components, then it is a matter of simply putting into the equations and deriving the three leverages. Incidentally, this illustration talks of three firms. It doesn't make any difference for us whether the firms are 3 or 1, but logic and template has to be understood. Let us first take all the three firms vertically and then take these heads to derive contribution, EBIT and PBT. These are the three components which we need. Based on the details given, let us take output. Output in units 60,000, 15,000 and 1 lakh. Then selling price per unit 60 paise, 5 rupees and 10 paise. Third is variable cost. Before that, this has to be deducted from selling price. Variable cost, it is given as 20 paise, 1.5 rupees and 2 paise. Now we know selling expenses, selling price less variable cost is equal to contribution per unit. Our template should generate this. 60 minus 20, 40, 50 minus 5 minus 1.5, 3.5, 10 paise minus 2 paise, 8 paise. Now we have got per unit. This is per unit. We have got an output of 60, 15 and 1 lakh. As per the template, we have to derive now A into D, contribution per unit into number of units when you multiply 24,000, 52,500 and 8,000. Then comes fixed costs. Take fixed costs as given 7,000, 14,000 and 1,500. Then derive contribution minus fixed cost equals earnings before interest and tax. We need it for our template 24 minus 7, 52.5 minus 14, 8 minus 1.5. Thereafterwards, out of EBIT, you remove interest. Interest is given as 4,000 and 8,000. And EBIT less interest is nothing but EBT or PBT or profit before tax. You derive that amount. Once you derive the amount, 13,000, 30,500, 6,500. Now the question asks you, calculate degree of operating leverage. What is operating leverage? Operating leverage is contribution divided by EBIT. We have contribution, we have EBIT. Let us get going. Contribution is at point number E. Post the contribution 24,000, 52,500 and 8,000. Then we have got EBIT. EBIT is at point number G, 17,000, 38,500, 6,500. Calculate the exact amount. 24 by 17 is 1.41. 52.5 by 38.5 is 1.36. 8,000 by 6,500 is 1.23. You have to note the operating leverage is the lowest and highest in case of firm K. Lowest is safer but less profitable. Highest is risky but more profitable. Then the question asks, get us degree of financial leverage. Financial leverage is nothing but EBIT divided by PBT. Post the EBIT, G 17,000, 38,500, 6,500. Then PBT, PBT is point number I. Post PBT, 13,000, 30,500 and 6,500. Find out the exact value. 17,000 divided by 13,000, 1.31. 38.5 by 30.5, 1.26, 6,500 by 6,500, 1. Then the third question is degree of combined leverage. As we said, when you go for combined, you strike off EBIT, what remains is contribution by PBT. Formula is there. We can post the amount. Contribution at point number E, 24,000, 52,500, 8,000. And PBT is 13,000, 30,500 and 6,500. Then derive the value. 24,000 divided by 13,000, 1.85, 52,500, 30,500, 1.72 and 8,000 by 6,500 is 1.23. And it also asks you the last question and interpret the results. We have to interpret in terms of profitability and business risk. 1.23 is safe, driving the vehicle at 45 kilometers speed, less risky, it's okay. But as you go forward here, 1.72, 1.85 going, this is high speed and this is doing speeding or over speeding. High DOL and high DFL 131, 1.41, 1.83. This is more risky. This is less risky. You can have a mid path or you can have a safe and slow and steady driving. This is regarding illustration number 43. Remember the template and get going. We have this question which appeared in December 2019. This we have taken up for the simple reason it has got earning per share as number one. Number two, it talks of assets turnover ratio. It also gives income tax and it gives figures in crores. What suggestion we have is when it is given in crores, don't write the zeros, because answers you can take it up to 2 decimals if you need. But if you write crores, you will be overwhelming yourselves. For the sake of these 4 components and for these 2 reasons, we have taken this example. Let us see. Template remains the same. And there is only one company. Rupees are in crores. The question that is asked is preparation of 3 leverages and earning per share. Let us, total assets turnover ratio is given as 2.5. What is assets turnover ratio? Turnover divided by assets. Means total assets have been turned over 2.5 times. What is total assets? 40. If 40 is turned over 2.5 times, how much it will be? 40 into 2.5 is 100. That is nothing but your sales. Total assets 40 is we take from here. We post 40. Then we know it is turnover ratio is 2.5. Therefore turnover is 40 into 2.5. We post that figure. Sale value is equal to 100. Second, variable operating expenses. It is given as 65% of 100 crores, means 65 crores. Contribution is D equals B minus C. We find it out as 35. Then next comes fixed expenses. It is given as 8 crores. Post the 8 crores. Once that is done, you need to derive EBIT. 35 minus 8 is 27. Then you have to calculate interest. For that, go to balance sheet. There is one debenture which carries interest. 15% on 20 crores is nothing but 3 crores. Put that amount. Deduct that from EBIT. That is profit before tax. They have given on the profit before tax what is the tax percentage. Tax percentage is 40%. 24 crores is the PBT. Tax percentage is 40%. It is 9.6 crores. Profit after tax. Derive it. 24 minus 9.6 is 14.4. Once this is done, it is only earning per share is the first question. What is this earning? 14.4 crores is for the company. How many shares are in the company? It says the company has got 1 crore shares of 10 each. Number of shares is 1 crores. Let us put it as 1 here. 1 crore shares, 14 crore. 0.4 crore is profit. Therefore, what is earning per share? I divided by J. I divided by J is earning per share, which is nothing but 14.4 per share. It is rupees, not rupees crores. Every share has earning of 14.4 rupees because there are 1 crore shares. Then operating leverage, we know the formula. Contribution divided by EBIT. Contribution is 35. EBIT is 27. One divided by the other, we get 1.3 as the operating leverage. Second question is financial leverage. EBIT divided by PBT. EBIT is 27. PBT is 24. One divided by the other, 1.3. And last is combined leverage, degree of combined leverage, contribution divided by PBT or DOL into DFL. And we have got contribution 35 divided by PBT 24. That is 1.46. In the process, we have answered all the 4 questions and derived the solution. Going ahead, we have got illustration 50, which talks of 2 simple things. Calculate operating leverage, financial leverage. And here we have taken it for the sake of the financial leverage since it gives net worth, debt equity, interest rate and operating profits. Let us get going. First question, find out operating leverage, sales 50,000, variable cost 60%. Contribution therefore is 20,000. Less fixed cost is 12,000. EBIT is 8,000. Degree of operating leverage, contribution divided is 20,000 divided by EBIT, which is 8,000. Therefore, the degree of operating leverage is 2.5, which is quite high. Then coming to second part of it, it is given net worth. We should use it for the sake of finding out what is the debt. Net worth is 25 lakhs. Debt equity ratio is given as 3:1. Means if equity is 1, debt is 3. What is equity? Net worth is nothing but equity plus reserves. It is 25. 25 into 3 is 75 lakhs. 75 lakhs is the debt. And what is the rate of interest? Is 12%. Calculate the interest. Interest at 12% on 75 lakhs is 9 lakhs, 900,000. Now go to the template. Operating profit is EBIT. Less interest is 9 lakhs. Profit before tax is one deducting the other, 11 lakhs. Financial leverage you are supposed to derive. Degree of EBIT divided by PBT. EBIT is 20 lakhs divided by PBT is 11 lakhs. Effectively, the degree of financial leverage is 1.82. That is the answer. We have taken this for deriving the debt. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.